Lawmakers, both sides now, pushing back at President Biden's August withdrawal. Those calls falling on deaf ears. One of those people in the room, Republican Congressman Mike Rogers of Alabama, ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Sir, good day to you. Got a couple things to get through. First of all, what was that meeting like? If you have Democrats and Republicans both voicing their disagreements on what the commander-in-chief is deciding.
It was frustrating. You know, there was no partisanship in the room. All of us just wanted to make sure that every American that wants to leave Afghanistan can get out, and that our friends who have helped us over the last 20 years can get out. And there's nothing special about next Tuesday. We need to have a mission focused on getting everybody out, and when everybody's out, then the mission's complete.
But he didn't listen, sir. He didn't care.
He's not listening. He's not listening to anybody. If he was listening to his military advisors, we wouldn't be withdrawing the way we're withdrawing. The fact is, when he told George Stephanopoulos 3 days ago that nobody advised him against leaving, he was lying. I just know that for a fact. He's not listening to people, has not been listening, he's not listening now.
Listen to what he said in April. Call for one, everyone, if you could play that one.
We'll not conduct a hasty rush to the exit. We'll do it responsibly, deliberately and safely, and we will do it in full coordination with our allies and partners who now have more forces in Afghanistan than we do. The Taliban should know that if they attack us as we draw down, we will defend ourselves and our partners with all the tools at our disposal.
What do you know about what the administration was doing between April and today?
They were rushing to the exits, and our allies, our NATO allies in particular, were not consulted. They were told we were leaving, and they don't have the wherewithal to stay without us, and they're unhappy about it. I just came back from Eastern Europe last week with the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, and we got an earful from our NATO allies about how unhappy they are with our performance in Afghanistan and questioning us as reliable allies going forward. So the repercussions of what's happening now are going to be with us for a long time. But I want everybody to understand that the fact that we're in a dangerous situation in Kabul now is solely the responsibility of Joe Biden. We did not have to start pulling out troops before we got the Americans out of there. We advised him on a bipartisan fashion not to do this. He just won't listen to anybody.
Wall Street Journal, Biden's rush to the Afghan exits. I think this is quite telling. Taliban says to get out by August 31. Here's the quote. End of the piece. It reads like this. The Afghan withdrawal is one of the sorriest American failures in decades. Its consequences will play out for years, if not decades, as friends and foes recalibrate their views of U.S. political will in general and Mr. Biden's in particular. The president may want Americans to forget the last 2 weeks, but the world will remember. You just said that he doesn't care, and he lied. That's strong.
Right. And I will tell you, I was, again, in Eastern Europe last week, and it was hard to sit on foreign soil and have our friends question our reliability and as whether or not we're reliable partners in NATO. That's hard to hear, but frankly, it was a fair question for them to raise because what they see us doing in Afghanistan right now. But I want everybody to know that there's no need for us to be in harm's way right now, but for Joe Biden and Anthony Blinken. Kabul would not have fallen if he had not pulled all the troops out when he did. So when you look at this exigent circumstance that we're suffering right now, it is solely the responsibility of Joe Biden.